guys, I'm back for another review, actually. I know the last movie we did was Shazam. We said that was an awesome movie. Well, it doesn't even compare to this movie that I'm about to review. I'm going to review Avengers Endgame. Guys, major spoiler warning for this movie. If you have not seen Endgame, what are you doing here? Get the heck out. Just get out. It's a spoiler review. You're gonna get spoiled. Unless you just don't care, then sure, watch this and you'll be spoiled. And that's on you. This is not on me if you keep watching this. This is on you. Get out of here if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it and you want to know my opinion, please keep watching. Let's do this. First off, this was probably the best movie theater experience I personally have ever had. Not just because of the movie, not just because it was great and the anticipation for it was so great, and when trailers came out, you know, you're just so excited, or I was at least, but just the audience. So when I saw it, I was in the Bahamas, saw it on opening night there, and in the Bahamas, if you don't know this, pretty much everybody is black, okay? Due to that fact, you know that part in the end, near the end, when all the portals open up, and just the silhouette of Black Panther happened. You know, it shows that on screen. And the audience just went ecstatic. It just went crazy. They erupted like... This one guy even yelled out, he's like in the front. He goes, bang! Just so loud. It was so awesome. Of course, then I started cheering and everything. My dad and I were like the only white people in the theater. But... so that, of course, added to the experience. Plus, they cheered for a lot of other things, you know, Captain America, Iron Man. They cheered for all the other characters, but when Black Panther showed up, that was where it was at. That was it. That was the cheering moment of my theater. Also, I was surprised that so many went to see this movie in the Bahamas. It was a fairly small theater, but it was also the only theater in Grand Bahama, in Freeport at least. Not all of Grand Bahama, just Freeport. That's where I was. But, so we get there. We told our cab driver, drop us off at 4:30, pick us up at 9, and the movie was at 5:30, alright? So we get there at 4:30, he drops us off, takes off, we go to the box office, we hadn't seen it yet, hadn't seen the box office yet to get our tickets, and it said sold out 5:30, sold out at 8, sold out 10:30. It was all just sold out. People had bought their tickets ahead of time. But eventually we looked depressed enough that they let us in. We bought Sunday tickets, but we still were able to go see it. We just gave them our Sunday tickets because there were a couple seats open. So that the whole thing just made for a great movie experience. Plus the movie ended up being amazing, so yeah, of course that, if it had been like The Last Jedi, I would have been like, well, that was not worth it at all. But I would happily do all of that again to go see a movie as good as this. Alright, so I'm going to kind of do things a little backwards. We usually do good, mixed, and then bad. I'm going to do mixed, bad, and then good. Alright, so I'm going to go into the mixed first. Captain America conjuring lightning. In that part of the movie, when he gets Thor's hammer, it's like one of the best parts of the movie. And you're like, holy cow, he has Thor's hammer, he is worthy. This is amazing, this is complete fan service, but I love it so much. You know, he gets it. And he beats the crap out of Thanos a little bit. And then he conjures lightning, and it was kind of like, isn't that kind of Thor's thing? I mean, in Ragnarok, that his dad, Odin, said that it was more of a channel for his lightning and it wasn't the source of it, and so that was kind of the whole point of Ragnarok. Then also in the first Thor, the curse or the whatever it is on the hammer is that anyone who is worthy enough to wield it has the power of Thor, so it kind of contradicts itself, but so that was on the edge of bad, and we'll get to that later, but so that was the first thing on the mixed. Also, Thor at first. Not in the first 20 minutes of the movie when he's the fit, you know, awesome guy. But like right after that, 5-year jump, and we see him fat. And he's got a beard and everything. Didn't mind the beard and the long hair, of course, you know. We've seen him with long hair before. But it's him being fat. I wanted him to be the awesome Thor. You know, this is the ultimate Avengers movie that's supposed to be about all 6 Avengers being at their best, and it's really not. It's really just about Tony Stark and Captain America, and everyone else has their moments, but he's more the comic relief. But I also understood why they made him the way that he is. he took his failure too hard. He took the death of 50% of all life in the universe and put it on him. And that just made him crazy depressed, crazy sad, just messed up, you know. So I understand why that happened, just didn't like it at first. Throughout the movie, it grew on me, you know, I got a few laughs out of it. And then at the end, when he was still the awesome guy at the end, even though he was overweight, he was still able to do awesome stuff. So anyway, the Hulk. That was at first, it's weird because that was a prediction from the very beginning, was Hulk was going to be Professor Hulk. He was going to be a mix of Banner and the Hulk. And that's what he is. He's Professor Hulk. But when you see him, you're kind of like, this is okay. This isn't as good as I thought it would be. It grew on me, of course, and I did like it by the end. I was okay with it by the end. But those are the two main mixed things. Next thing I'm okay with, again, it's mixed. 3 hours long. When I first saw it was 3 hours long, I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. You know, it needs to be 3 hours long because it's got so much stuff in it. And it does. It does have a ton of stuff in it. But did it really need to be 3 hours? Probably could have been 2 hours and 40 minutes, honestly. But then there's the problem. I don't know exactly what they would cut out. I just felt like it could have somehow been shortened a little bit. So, yeah. And then the last mixed thing is the women Avengers teaming up at the end, near the end, during the major battle. You know, they, who is it? Like, someone's trying to get through, and she's like, I can't, or you can't do it by yourself. And they're like, oh, she's not by herself. We're here too. And all the women come up together, and it's awesome. I thought that scene was really cool. I thought it was awesome how they all just came together, started kicking butt. It just doesn't make any logical sense at all that in that large of a battlefield, somehow just the women come together at the same time in the same place to help the same person. You know, like no guys came to help them either. So it didn't make much sense. I thought it was a cool scene nonetheless. Now let's get into the bad. There really wasn't anything I thought that was inherently bad about the movie, mainly just mixed. If I had to choose one bad thing to put under bad, I would probably maybe put Captain America conjuring lightning. As cool as the scene was, it took me out of the theater experience when I realized that that's kind of like just Thor in Captain America's suit doing his own thing. You know, it's not like Captain America just beating the crap out of Thanos. It's basically Thor in Captain America's suit. So that's the only thing that I might consider putting under bad. So there you go. So now that we've gotten through all that, I will go through the good. So first thing, it focuses on the main Avengers. The side Avengers, or the new Avengers, I guess you could say, don't show up till like the last 30 minutes of the movie. And I like that, because the last movie was about Thanos. It was an Avengers movie, but it was totally Thanos' movie. And it focused on Iron Man, mainly just Iron Man. But then also the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Thor, of course, he's the main one, focused on him too. Then it also focused kind of on Black Panther and all the new Avengers to some extent. Mainly just Iron Man though. In this one, they're all dusted for most of the movie, you know, and it focuses on the six, you know, it focuses on Black Widow, even though she dies like halfway through the movie, which I was not expecting. Hawkeye, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and then the Thor, yeah. Forgot about him, because he is kind of a lesser known character, lesser paid attention to character. I do have to say though, he was just in Thor Ragnarok. They just had his movie. He's already had a ton of growth with that movie and Infinity War, so I can see why they put him off to the side a little bit, same as Hulk. But yeah, so I love how they focused on the main Avengers. Also, Nebula. I thought Nebula was really good in this movie. The only other time in any other movie that I've actually felt somewhat emotional for her was at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when she realizes that her dad is really, really super evil and she wants to go kill him, and she hugs Gamora and they're like, we just need to be sisters, you know. That, I did feel emotion for her then. I felt bad for her. But in this one, she's written so well and her character's written so well. She's changed. She even kills her past self as kind of just closure. Well, I mean, it was to save past Gamora. But I mean, it's also kind of resembling just the closure that she has with her past evil self. You know, she was stubborn, she was ignorant, she was horrible. She just wanted to do everything to please Thanos, but couldn't please him, or he wouldn't be pleased. So she finally just has to kill her old self and move on. And I felt like her character was done extremely well in this movie. Of course, that's not even like a fifth of everything that happens in the movie that I loved. So now I'm gonna move on to something we've never done, which is the great. And this is pretty much everything else, but I'm gonna talk about the main great things I thought. Just the story in general. There's been so many time travel movies in the past, and there will be more in the future. You know, only time will tell, but they do it so well in this movie. They bring up Back to the Future. That's really the only one I can remember. But they bring it up and they show like, well, that's not possible. We have our own way. Everything going back and getting stones, being able to snap. The Ancient One talking about how they need to return the stones and everything. And then another thing that I thought was great was the cast. Like, sure, they had the main Avengers and then the new Avengers, but then also like Natalie Portman, the Ancient One, forgot the actor's name. Thor's mother, forgot her name too. Valkyrie, Korg, they brought Taika Waititi in to play Korg. I mean, how awesome is that? It's such a big movie that they brought all these characters in. It's just so cool. Also, what was great, of course, Tony Stark and Captain America. Their characters in this movie are so great. After the initial Tony being mad at Cap in the very beginning, they make up and everything, and it's just so great. They even go on a mission to the past together. It's just so good. When Tony meets his dad, it's just so great. I can't even explain it. It's just so great. I loved it so much. And also, what I loved about it is it felt like you were watching more than one movie. It felt like you were watching 3 movies. You got the first setup. They create a plan. They have Captain Marvel. They go to the farm planet. They kill Thanos, but he doesn't have the stones. Boom. End of movie. 5 years later, next movie. They come up with this time travel, or Ant-Man shows up. Time travel plot. They do it. They succeed. They get all the stones. Snap. They succeed. Everyone's brought back. Of course, you don't show them yet. Paul Rudd, or Ant-Man, looking out of the window, and it's sunny out, and there's butterflies. End of second movie. Boom, explosion, entire base blows up. That, trying to get the stones back into the past so Thanos can't use them, but then ultimately the bus getting destroyed so they can't do that. And then Iron Man having to snap and ending it. He has a funeral, or there's his funeral, Cap goes back, relives his life, gets old. It's just perfect. That's third movie, that's the end of everything. But instead, it's in one whole gigantic 3-hour event that just worked so well. I loved it so much. I guess I'll say this, I love Tony's death. As much as I love Tony and he's my favorite character, he really did need to die. Not because I was tired of him by any means, but this was the movie to have that happen in. For him to be the one, like that one scene in the first Avengers when Cap's like,
I've seen the footage. The only thing you really fight for is yourself. You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play, to lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you. I think I would just cut the wire.
And then of course his dad in Iron Man 2, he's able to do what his dad was never able to do, which was put the greater good over selfishness. And he does it. He snaps, he saves everyone, but he himself dies. I thought that was fantastic. And then Cap being the one who's been the soldier his entire life. He's missed the 70 years, his prime. He's missed his prime. He's missed his wife. He's missed everything. And so for him to go back and just relive his life, that was the great ending for him. I don't know why I thought he would die, because that was the perfect ending. So I would get into a lot more stuff, but I'd be standing here for an hour, and I'm sure this video is already crazy long. Anyway, my favorite parts. So number 1, my favorite emotional part, for sure, Tony's death, followed by his funeral, followed by Happy and Tony's daughter. When Happy asks her if she says she's hungry, and he says, "What do you want?" She says, "I want a cheeseburger," and he says, "I'll get you as many cheeseburgers as you want. Your dad loved cheeseburgers," or something like that. So now, coolest part of the movie. I'd have to say, I gotta give the coolest parts to Captain America. I mean, when he wields Thor's hammer and everything, that was just the coolest part. And then, also when Cap's standing in front of the entire Thanos army and the portals open up behind him, that was just, so I gotta give the coolest scenes to Cap. Favorite fan service part, because pretty much this whole movie is a bunch of fan service, but I'd have to say, besides Captain America wielding Thor's hammer, I'd say it was the elevator scene. Now, I'm not sure if this is necessarily fan service, but it's definitely a major callback to a scene that fans absolutely loved. I didn't know what was going to happen. Was he going to fight them? Was he, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then he just leans over and he goes, "Hail Hydra," and walks off. And as you see him with the scepter, he just has this awesome smile. I was like, yeah. And then next, I'm not sure if this is fan service either, but Captain America fighting Captain America. I mean, that fight alone was way better than the entire Batman versus Superman fight. Just that. It was like 2 minutes long, but it was amazing. I loved it so much. And if I were just to choose my favorite overall scene, I honestly can't. I honestly cannot pick a favorite scene. I love the whole of this movie so much, and a lot of the scenes are so equal to each other in awesomeness that I really can't. Now, can I choose a least favorite scene? I can, and that would honestly be the support group. After that happens, Captain America goes to Natasha, and he says, "I went to a support group. There was this guy. Seems like he's really moving on and everything." And I think if they had just took out the entire support group scene and just cut those two scenes together, the one before it and that scene, it would have just cut to it, and he would have been like, "Hey, I went to this support group. These people are really moving on, but we're not." And I would have felt the same way. I would have had the same experience. I would have known exactly what he was talking about for the most part. That was my least favorite scene. Oh man, so where would I put this on the Marvel scale? I don't know. Infinity War is my favorite Marvel movie, I do have to say. I like it better than The Dark Knight, and I just want you to know that one more time. I like it better than The Dark Knight. You can't do nothing about that. Anyway, so where would I put this? I've only seen it once, Endgame I mean. I've seen Infinity War many times. Seeing it once, I have to say that I don't think it's quite as good as Infinity War. I still like it better than The Dark Knight. So, as a normal moviegoer who, say, has only seen a couple Marvel movies, like not important ones, I go and see this movie, I'd probably give it a 4 to 5 out of 10 just because I have no idea what the heck's going on. It has no explaining whatsoever what the heck's going on as to what's going on. But I would like all the effects, I would like the characters for the most part. I wouldn't really feel anything when Iron Man died if I haven't seen an Iron Man movie. It's just, I'd be like, wait, why is Thor the way that he is? Maybe I've seen Infinity War, I'm not sure. I'm not this guy. 4 to 5 out of 10 if it's a random moviegoer who's only seen a couple Marvel movies. Now, as a Marvel fan who's seen all the Marvel movies multiple times, loves Infinity War, loves all the characters, loves all this, I'd give it a 9.8 out of 10. 9.8 out of 10. Infinity War is 9.9, so there you go. That is my official score. Well, not official actually. I'll see it again sometime, hopefully a few more times. By then, my score will probably fluctuate, but as of right now, that's my score. 9.8 out of 10. I still think this is a little bit better though. It's a great movie. Thanks for watching my review on Avengers Endgame. I hope I didn't spoil anything for you if you've wanted to see this. Then again, it's also on you, so peace out. Bye.
Please, no gang signs. No, throw it up. I'm kidding. Yeah, peace. I love peace. I'll be out of a job with peace.
Jack? Yes!
Jack?
So, thanks for watching.
Can you come up and start?
Yeah, I will. When I'm done.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching my review on Avengers Endgame.